Well, it wouldn't be a Graves game if we didn't have some sort of invade, either level 1, 2, 3, or 4. We're going to go with a level 1 this time. Now, we're not talking about the invade necessarily. We're not going to focus too much on the build path. Let's just zoom out a little bit so we have more context when this invariably might or may not work out. We basically need to look at the buff to Graves, the true grit passive, right? Making him more tanky. So when you're against other AD junglers, you're going to be a lot more able to get in and out of their jungle without needing to run away. Now, you could have buffed his damage from Riot's perspective, because I do feel like, oh, look, on the other side of the coin with the Kane's invading. They're made for each other, the Kane vs. Graves match, a very interesting matchup. They both want to do this, so we'll just handshake on the vertical jungling situation. Interesting to always look at how junglers, the good junglers, interact with vertical jungling. So we know Kane is up on the top side. Anyway, Graves' build, you know, with the Ghost Blade and the Collectors and the IEs and the BTs, sometimes a shield bow, really isn't that exciting anymore. He's been doing it for a very, very long time. Hello, Ezreal. Not paying attention. Nice Q against the wall there. You see, those kind of mechanics are just absolutely fundamental. There's the flash, there's the plant hit. That should win bottom lane. Really tragic from the Ezreal's perspective. I mean, it's kind of obvious that there should be something going. I'm not... There's the barrier, there's a Q2. Wow, okay. Okay, this is what Graves is good at, and now we're just going to base because we're a little bit afraid of collapse, but I don't think any collapse would necessarily happen. The cow is just basically chilling there, but we can take this. All right, so that's interesting. Here's the thing. You absolutely must head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching, coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else. All of this available through a premium jungle Discord, which is highly active, a huge community that help each other climb using my jungle program and courses. As we have seen by everybody hitting their peak rank goals in Split 1 and Split 2 of Season 14 as fast as possible. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. When True Grit is stacked up nicely, right, and we have this bonus armor now increasing substantially, things like Viego, Kane, and assorted AD fighters, Lee Sin, that you're going to see a lot of, when you want to go into their jungle as Graves and counter jungle them in this meta, right, high maximum experience meta, can you still duel them and get out? Can you maybe just kill them and get out? When he has less tankiness, that's been a bit of an issue lately with just Graves in general. Like it's an interesting concept. Do you buff his damage or do you buff his tankiness? His damage means he would most likely kill those people in those counter jungling moments. The tankiness is basically saying, well, they can't necessarily kill me faster, but if I'm a better Graves, that I can out DPS you in the long run. Animation cancels, E resets, hitting Q1, Q2s, using the walls to my advantage. All of those things add up very, very they add up to a high level for Graves, right? In the meantime, Kane decides to gank on the top side. Let's just go have a look at that one. And we'll get back to how it's expected. Cannon uses his range advantage perfectly, then Kane takes over. This is not the best dive in the world, but too late, dead. Graves, on the other hand, decides, look, I know my whole top side is gone here. I know Ezreal is really, really compromised, and I'm not taking this. Oh, the cow with the disengage, but the Kai'Sa is able to kill the Graves. That Q2 will not hit because of the cow's mobility. This is not the kind of meta you want to be in when you are wanting to do this kind of stuff. When you are vertical jungling, not farming, turret diving, dying, all this snowball stuff. You don't want to be doing that in a farming meta. However, if we are in a game where this is required, Graves is particularly good at coming out of the situation ahead because he can fall back very quickly. A lot of junglers, if they get too screwed over in the first 3 rotations, they struggle to get back in the game. So let's see what the Kane does. Obviously, he goes to the top side and takes that one. The Graves now will take this. We know that the Kane at this particular stage could be coming down. We know he could have reset to come down. We know he could have stayed on the top side. We need to use our support prior here to go for a little bit of an aggressive invade. However, you will note that the time on the clock there. What's the time on the clock? 4 minutes flat, basically, those Raptors on his side are going to respawn, right? These are currently level 1 Raptors. Boom. This is what I would prefer to try and deny at this particular stage, because when your experience compromised to this level because of these invades and dives and deaths and what have you, yeah, with 2-0-0, the gold advantage for us is 500 cash monies. We know at 4 minutes that this is going to respawn. So why worry too much about taking his level 1 Raptors when you could just go and protect your level 4 Raptors and maybe your level 4, 5 Krugs, depending. Well, this has been a very fisty game, so these will be level 4 Krugs, right? If everyone's in lane and no one's dying, then the average level in the game will be high, so those will be level 5 Krugs at around 4 minutes 28 to 4 minutes 40, depending on whether you do red first or what champion you are. Kayn knows, okay, he's gonna go and take my Raptors. All right, I'll maximize my experience and take these ones. Currently, the Kayn will have a huge advantage over the Graves in experience, right? You can see this, he's already level 4. We are gonna be over halfway to level 5 at this stage. We are just about level 4 ourselves, but it's 4 minutes 27. There we go, just over halfway. Now, if he did the Krugs right afterwards, well, he did red, but, and there you see that level 4 Krugs, right? So remember, the camps are based upon the average level in the game. If everything works out correctly and they respawn at this time and the lanes are not dying, it'll 100% be a level 5 Krug camp. But because of all the death, right? Because of all the death, there are level 4 camps. So he takes the Krugs again, and this is where you have to make this decision, right? This is where you have to decide as a jungler. Do I want to do this and snowball my Kai'Sa, or do I want to protect my own camps from the Kayn and protect my top laner? At this stage, I feel like my bottom lane should be able to handle business. I don't care about the dragon, even though this will give us a good amount of catch-up experience as well, if epic monsters have that juice more so. I'm more interested in forcing the Kayn to take his level 1 Raptors and Krugs on the bottom side, knowing that this is going to be a more difficult lane to gank, purely because of the fact that the Kai'Sa is fed and can handle their business 2v3. That's my preference, right? However, if you want to snowball a lane hardcore, then forcing him to stay topside, even if he gets more experience, is a better play, because you get to take his, you get the dragon, you snowball your bottom lane, and you'll get this nice, what's this experience in the bottom left? Boom! Huge chunk of experience. Now, given all of this is gone, we got about 20 seconds for Grubs. I think you need to make an educated decision a little bit. The Grandmaster average of the game, he's a challenger Graves, we could challenge junglers everywhere, but it's a Grandmaster average, so that's why I put that there. What's my decision here as Graves? Do I want to go and fight and die over Grubs? Or do I want to get all of these camps off the map as soon as possible, because I'm not even level 5 yet, I want to rush my level 6 here. Do I want to sacrifice this? Personally, again, I'm a map control kind of guy. I choose my PvP moments. I'd rather have 3 PvP moments that are like 100% successful versus a little bit of this kind of stuff. Like right here, you see this? The Tristana plays into the hands of the Graves and the Pike. The Tristana, the middle, like why are you leaping in here knowing that the Graves is going to think about the Grubs? You know that the Pike is roaming. Yes, this is a fantastic solo kill, and we always love this kind of stuff from our mid laners, but as a jungler, it really is irritating when they do this trade, they get the solo kill, and just feed the Graves. I wish they would play a little bit more cautiously. Now, I'm not going to say which is right or wrong. None of this is right or wrong. It's really left or right, right? It's a decision left or right. Regardless, the Pike is rotating. The Kayn shows top side. Not quite yet level 6. We are not even halfway to that. The Pike gets super duper low. The Cannon is, of course, 6, but that cooldown is gone, as we saw. The set's able to get a kill there. Nice counter gank by the Graves as well as the Pike. And you're looking at this, and compared to the kind of games we've been covering, there's nothing like it. There's no order to it. It's absolute chaos. Now, we should be able to shove them off and take the Grubs. Kayn will go to his Gromp into his wolves, and now what he should do, the Kayn, is just sequence all the way down, astronomically control all his camps, get everything rinsed, because these will be high levels, level 6, level 6, level 6. The Graves still has low level bottom side camps here. He is experience compromised. Look at the Kayn go here, just full sequence, give up the Grubs, accept that they're gone, and now he's ahead of the Graves, who's like, whoa, 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 he might go to my camps. And, you know, if Graves shows top line here, the Kayn would go to his camp, so the Kayn... he actually does do this because he's able to sequence and finish and then decide, do I gank? Do I gank? Do I invade? And if the Graves does all of this, then the Kayn will get in. So the Graves knows, all right, the Kayn could easily show up here. So I'm going to use the outside in rule and I'm going to come out and do these camps and fall backwards up so that the Kayn has nothing to take. But the Kayn was very, very quick about taking those camps. And now both the level 6, as we can see, CS is about 1 camp lead only. Graves does a good job actually catching up a little bit. And because he does the outside in rule there, because he goes blue grub wolves, he's able to deny the counter jungling from the Kayn, which is an absolutely massive challenger level play. That's what you don't always need to do in Diamond and Emerald and below, and Silver definitely not. But at a high level, remember, jungle denial gets you to Diamond, right? Jungle denial, stopping ganks, taking camps, stopping objectives, that'll get you up. In Challenger, in Grandmaster, in Pro Play, you need to deny the denial. If Nidlee's going to counter jungle you, prevent that. Let her waste her time, right? Again, a rat shows up from nowhere and says, I'm going to kill the Lux, and Graves is like, hello? Warum? And then here's the cannon. There we go. Secure the walls. Not enough. We do have the Alt Blaster. Well, we use the Alt Blaster. Yes, that is an intentional... we don't need to. Auto. Thank you so much. Kane now is going into this side. I don't know why we know these camps are dead. I mean, we know why he wants to dive the Kai'Sa here, but the Kai'Sa is absolutely everything up. She's got ult, she's got barrier, she's got flash, and she's going in the wrong direction. But there's a massive fat wave here, so well executed by everybody. Everybody actually... I thought for a second there. For a second, maybe she could live, but call me hopeful. Sometimes it's good to be romantic about your ADCs. You never know. And now the Graves is basically saying, okay, look, because I'm fed, because the blue team are playing a little bit too aggressively here, all I gotta do is rotate to the right environments and control my camps and prevent them from being counter jungled, which he has done. Except for the first rotation, but that was a strategic decision. I will take these Raptors and Krugs and kill bottom lane again. Then I will give this to the Kayn. That'll get him out of the picture for a while. Cool. Maybe I can test with my Roam, the Grubs, and the Dragons, which he did, right? After that now, no more counter jungling, Mr. Kayn. I know that you give these to me right now, and you're going to path all the way down, so I'm going to cut you off from the counter jungle. And that adds up, right? The denial of the denial is what Graves is so good at. Or just, you know, regular denial. Like if you're watching Candy from a couple years ago. So this is a very chaotic game with a lot of different things going on, a lot of different reads, but we have the Ghost Blade, BF Sword. We are strong, very big. Obviously now we over here in pocket tier 478, 5.7k gold, only 3.5 for the Kayn. Now, from the Kayn's perspective, I think we can all sympathize a little bit here. He's tried his best to kind of handle his business, but the Graves has done an exemplary job preventing the Kayn from taking too much away. At the same time, I think the Kayn can be a little bit irritated that the laners have traded without considering jungle pathing and tempo, and as such, given the Graves free kills, and Kayn can be frustrated about that. Now again, look, he's just saying, look, I'm going to take the Scuttle Crab, and perhaps we just give up the Dragon. I think that's a reasonable take. Go counter jungling at this point, right? Graves is going to the Dragon. You can easily go counter jungling. Let's go. This is too slow. You see how quick the Graves was? That, my friends, is the problem with Graves. In this meta, with this flow and swoop and counter jungling is important, if there's a chaotic game like this and now his Cure Grid is up, you can't kill him as easy, especially when you're equal or behind. You also need to know that he's going to be in your jungle, in your face a lot more because he knows he can tank you. He knows he can withstand you. Here we go. That Ezreal. The Ghostblade BF Sword spike is big. And most Graves players, I think the problem is they're getting stuck a little bit too AFK farming. Right? Like, you're not Karthus. You're not Hecarim. You can play more like a Nidalee. You can be in and out of the enemy jungle. You can fight them. You can push them out. You can play into the chaos a bit more. But Graves mains are just not doing that. I think that's something to think about. Embrace a bit more chaos as Graves. Not ridiculous chaos. Ordered chaos. Measured chaos. Chaos from an enemy jungle perspective, but from your perspective, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. There is a nice E to get out of the cannon ult. This is what we would call, you should let him die. I think once you see this with your eyeballs, you're like, good night, set. And when you do that, you take your Krugs away, you prevent the counter jungling from the Kayn again. You maybe can try and hold this turret afterwards, but you see now the Kayn's going to straight into jungle, the Alice is roaming, bottom lane able to eat all those turrets. From blue team's perspective, we better get this and get out quickly. We know everybody's going to be rotating over, Pyke included. He's greedy for the Krugs. That's a big mistake here. Pyke's going to try and hook him through the wall, misses. There you go, Q of the wall from the... Oh, beautifully done from the Pyke. Ignite's going through, double W there. Lux ult just misses, super close. Kai'Sa says, yo, what up? Greed for the Krugs, man, greed for the Krugs. You know, the bottom lane took the turret. You know they're going to swap over. You know, Graves is coming to protect those camps. And now he's in your face again. Every death you have, the Graves says, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yes, Kayn, Ross, Blue Kayn can all go Hubris, juicy item. Champ's great. Not as OP as before, obviously, but I think he's in a solid spot. Like, it's a skill issue as always. Kane's up, everybody's up, so now Graves is like, well, I better take some camps. Look how much quicker this is. Kite it out, drag it out, Q it, E, hit the plant. Bum, 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 bum. Bomba? No bomba. Tristana, man. Nerf it. Remove it. I don't want to see it. Nobody wants to see Tristana mid anymore. Nobody. Not even this Kayn gave Graves an out. Because I still believe, you know, you don't know that Tristana is going to all in and kill the Lux under turret, lose a lot of HP and go up and die to the Graves. Like, you don't know that. I still feel like the Graves was playing risky going level 4 to Grubs, rather than controlling this whole bottom side, giving up maybe the Grubs and then maximizing experience a bit and just focusing on the second Grubs, right? Because we went 3-3 anyway. So I feel like that was a better move in my opinion. Again, greedy counter jungling. We saw this yesterday. The other day when I covered the Kha'Zix game. Well, it wasn't Kha'Zix. It was Hecarim versus Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix just started counter jungling and invading without tracking, right? Like, if you as Kane take this and die, where's the Graves gonna go next? Bottom side. So why are you running in without numbers advantage when you've got people positioned all over the map, right? It just doesn't make sense to go for these invades. I'm seeing too much of that. Chaos plays into the Graves' hand. Because if you don't have Chaos, he can win. If you make a mistake in the Chaos, he will beat you, right? His mobility, his damage. This build, these two items are really piss boring at this point to look at, but who cares? They're effective. And that's why, I made my fully in-depth Zyra guide on the main channel. I have 2 million points and I've played it for a long time. I'm trying to yell at the pros, stop going comment, right? Like, I know it feels good in the teamfight, but it's a suboptimal rune for most of the early game when you want to have a certain power spike, and in the late game, you can one-shot people. In the video, I literally one-shot Graves in the back line with an electrocute proc. So sometimes you just gotta go what makes the most sense. I know there's a lot of feel to certain things. I know some people don't like the feel of electrocute, but it is more potent when you use it right. It's better to figure out how to do so. In Graves' case, I know there's other builds. We're seeing the cycle swords pop out. I'm seeing some shield bows and things like this, but Ghostblade Collector are gonna take you places because Ghostblade plus BF Sword is a huge spike. This is really not a high-level theory game, but I felt like it could have been, you know? I still believe on a baseline, i.e. farm your camps full clear, then look for pressure points later. Don't level 1 coin flip. Even with the Kane here, I don't, like, why? Watch entrances, prevent the invade, ward it up, kite it out backwards. Don't lose your bottom lane because of the vertical jungling, and ultimately that's what happened, right? Ezreal deserves his fate. Straight up, he caused his own demise by being AFK in the brain, but the Kane was vertical jungling for the first 5 minutes, and as such, the bot lane was sacrificed. I never feel comfortable with that. I mean, do you feel like the cannon is going to 1v9 your game? I don't. Guy just got less tanky. Hello? Well then. Kane's like, well, I didn't exactly want to be on this side of the wall. The dragon knocked. Where did Kane... See, this is what we're saying here. Look at this. Ah, it's a Lux? Yeah. Well, not quite. It was mostly the Graves there. Either way, pop goes the Weasel. Free Dragon for us. I mean, this is exactly what we're looking for. Nice hook, over the wall, auto attack, another one, dead. Reload here, Tristana's there. Don't really care, we can take the plant and hippity-hoppity, no smite, so... well, that was an unfortunate one. We can ear for the wall there. Stacking our True Grit, using Fleet Footwork. Oh, man. That reminds me. I know some people are talking about other runes. Just go Fleet. I was destroying this Graves, right? And I hit him backline, full combo, electrocute. Guy's literally 2 HP. Literally 2 HP, one more plant tick, he's dead. He flashes and autos the Herald who was being tanked, and he got a Fleet proc. That's it, and he lived. He got it, he killed it, half HP, runs into the jungle, is able to clean up 2 kills. I'm like, oh man, very unlucky. But the Fleet Footwork saved his life. Straight up, the charge and the heal saved his entire life. And obviously now, that was before, so the True Grit now, he'd be even tankier. Versus Zyra, it doesn't matter, but against a Viego or something, it will, right? Against 80 junglers, it will matter. And if you are a Graves main asking for E, MR, then you're delusional, your champ's Astra broken. And, well, no, he's not Astra broken. I honestly feel like Graves is fine. I know he's really strong. I'm going to say in the thumbnail and title, he is strong, because he is strong, right? He's back, he's strong, the tankiness has been a huge help to his overall goals in the game, especially in this kind of fisting chaos. But it's really a case of pilot issue at this point with Graves. It really is. Jungle issue. Like, you need to be a good jungler, I feel like, to maximize him at this particular stage, understanding what you need to do and when. Mechanics obviously are important. Like, look at the damage, though, just with these 2 items plus a pickaxe. Like, obviously he's building a... obviously the Kane is building hubris, so he is squishy, but still, right? Most of us will build squishy on our champions. All right, Now the point is we need to end the game, and we don't be too slow to end. We have a huge, huge lead. Yes, we were given a few kills, but I think a lot of this is, it's very easy to say, well, that was a fun interaction. It's very easy to say, well, yeah, you know, the Graves got some freebies. He did. But here's the thing. If someone gets freebies every single game against you, if someone gets freebies every game as they climb you watching their streams and their games, they're not freebies anymore. They're positioning themselves according to their F keys, to tracking, to trade patterns, to matchups. They're understanding lanes better than you are. They're understanding your tracking and what you want to accomplish better than you do. And that's the whole thing, right? Yeah, I could deny the Kayn the second spawn camps, but why not take this and just snowball the bottom lane? Because I understand the matchup, right? Why don't I go to the Grubs? Because I understand Tristana's going to want all in the Lux. I don't necessarily think that's the case here, because the Tristana could have just chilled zone and not done that, but at this stage, it doesn't really matter anymore. The Kayn lost track and did stupid counter jungling. The Graves made a really high IQ decision to deny that counter jungling, which was a big swing in this game's momentum. And as such, here we go. Now the Baron spawns. Good shit. Like, this is what we like to see from jungling, right? I know I'm heavy on my strategy with the farming to 6, 2 to 3 ganks pre-6, and then maximizing the ultimate, map control, high econ, counter jungling, pressure points. I mean, that's great. That 100% works. I've tested it on every single MMR at this point, yes. From low elo all the way up to high elo. The thing is, sometimes the game needs a firmer hand. Sometimes you've got to take it to the enemy. And Graves and Nidalee do that better than any other jungler. Maybe at least Sim when he's fed. They just get in your face. They just disrupt the order. They just disrupt what you expect to happen. And they're very difficult to handle when they get ahead of it. And as a Graves player, I think rather than trying to be a coin flipping level 2 nonsense monkey, think more like that. How can I bring chaos in an intelligent way? Lux misposition gets absolutely astro-fisted. Sets and base does have TP available to us. Kaiser's rotating over here. We lose the Edge of Night onto the Pike. The W misses on the Rast gamer. Kaiser says, look, I need to go back to base like a Baron. This is unfortunate when these things occur. We're kind of just sitting around a little bit. We prefer to look for some pressure points. Look at this. There you go, burst combo. And if we need to, we can. We don't need to. Huge, huge, huge. Last year I made a video on my channel talking about the animation cancels, so maybe I'll leave a link to that below. You can go ahead and look at the Graves animation cancels with the orders, with the E's, with the Q's. Maximizing that output in a burst. This here will give you a bit more survivability with the shield, the lifeline. The critical strike passive on this is absolutely massive because of that shift. I believe it was 14.9? It was 14.9, right? Or 8? 9? Where they gave him a bit of a buff on the passive, scaling with the pellets and the crit, as you can see there, right? You can see there on the second line there, instead of normal critical effects, critical strikes fire 6 bullets and deal 34% more damage. Structures take 25% reduced damage. So they have got this pellet system with his crits, and thus having that in your itemization build not only gives you burst, it also gives you auto attack animation cancel, sustained DPS, and the true grit gives you better positioning with your tankiness. All in all, that sounds like a very well-rounded carry jungler, provided you know what to do. And hopefully this game has shown you a little bit about pros and cons, how I think about it, how this Graves thought about it, different schools of thought, without a doubt. I'm definitely not as chaos when it comes to league strategy, much more ordered and measured. You know, rather than using a shotgun, like this guy does, literally, strategically, I like to use a laser. But Graves players are really good at using shotguns. Again, it's a good analogy because it works very well for him, but you've got to think of it that way, I think. Sometimes, when you try to be too exact with something like Graves, you miss the mark, if you know what I mean. Really embrace the disruption. Pike hooks the Alistar. Graves goes through this bush looking for another assassination potential moment. Can't see it, so cuts up for the mid-whiff to push that up, but then sees a fight develop. Kaiser kills Tristana on the back line. Ezreal and the cow are going to go for the Kaiser, who's going to flash and use her barrier. Graves on the top set there, finishes off the rat. Ezreal's able to kill the moo cow. Sorry, the pike cow, and then Graves just ults his face and says, no. So this is a crucial moment here. Right here, you can basically say, yes, I'm going to push the wave, and then sync up top lane and sync up bottom lane macro-wise. But if you see the fight and you need to be in it. You are the Fed member here. Lux is 346. Kaiser's Fed, sure, but the set's not 254. You are the carry, man. You are the absolute carry. Bye-bye. GG. Rotate. This is critical. I'm just going to pause here because this, I coached a live coaching yesterday in this moment right here. And instead of being in this location, the Graves was up here. Red Krugs thinking, I'm fed, let's go up to the Krugs and the red, and then I'll join my team. And his team was down here, and they all go wiped. And then he goes, well, now what, guys? He's upset. I'm like, no, you could have just ended the game 23 minutes. Why do you need to stretch the game out? You know, there's no reason for this game to go to 30. It's done. You're fed. You got 14,000 gold. Kai's got 11.6. The enemy jungler's got 8.8. You got 181 CS. What do you need? That's it. You're done. You don't need more itemization. You're good. You got another BF sword in this. You don't need to build the Bloodthirster. You're good. So sync up with your team here. If they can push this nice and he can push this nice, then you can catch this and push it in, force a rotation to the supers, and then cut down or cut up. That's what you want to do. But if you see the fight occur here, you see this, he wants to do that. But then he sees the fight. He's like, well, I better rotate because I'm the Fed member. I need to help my Kai'Sa. She's in a bit of a precarious situation. I think we can all agree we've all seen enough bottom laners die in this moment and lose us games where we wish we were there to help them out. So good decision, great game, bit of chaos. Graves is in a great spot. Good luck.